Alrighty guys, we're back for some new mono green aggro, and this is a Dominaria United Standard Brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you guys. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description. If you want to join that up, I highly recommend it. Okay, what do we got in the deck? Well, we got 4 Ascendant Packleaders as our 1-drop creature, just a very solid card. 1 mana, 2/1. It enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it if you control a permanent with mana value 4 or greater, and then whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on Packleader. Very good card. We got 3 Tail Swipes here. For 1 mana at instant speed, you get to choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you cast this spell during your main phase, the creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then those creatures fight each other. Pretty solid fight spell, guys. I'm curious to see how much work it's actually going to put in right now. I'm still seeing a lot of mono black floating about, which has a lot of death touch creatures too, so we'll see. We got 3 Tamiyo Safekeeping in here as well, so 1 mana instant target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, and you gain 2 life. So the life gain goes a long way against other aggro builds. It could be used if the opponent is expecting to trade off with a creature to protect your own creature, so that way it's not a trade. And then also there is so much spot removal right now, and a lot of decks are running Depopulate right now too, so I think Safekeeping is going to go a long way. In our 2-drop spots, we're rocking 4 Gala Greeters for some ramp, but then also it gets buff as time goes on. We got 4 Llanowar Loamspeakers for some ramp, but then also don't underestimate that bottom ability there where you can tap it. Target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste until end of turn. It's still a land, activate only as a sorcery. Don't underestimate that ability. We have actually won quite a few times with that already, and yeah, it's a way to get that extra little bit of damage through. We got 2 Outland Liberators, a 2 mana 2/2. You can pay 1 mana, sacrifice Outland Liberator to destroy target artifact or enchantment. This is particularly good right now where Wedding Announcement and Reckoner Bankbuster are like 2 of the most played cards. Like I see Bankbuster every other match, and then Wedding Announcement is just stuffed into every single deck right now. So Outland Liberator is probably going to put in some work. In our 3-drop spot, we got 4 Briarbridge Trackers, a 3 mana 2/3 with Vigilance. When Briarbridge Tracker enters the battlefield, investigate. So you get a clue. As long as you control a token, Briarbridge Tracker gets +2/+0. Not bad. It's usually going to be a 4/3 because if worse comes to worse, you just keep that clue around. And if you get some other tokens like off of Gala Greeters, like those treasure tokens, then maybe you can use that clue to draw into more creatures or something. So pretty solid card. Also, Vigilance works really well against Wandering Emperor, which is seeing play everywhere right now too. So we got 4 Jewel Thief, a 3 mana Vigilance Trample 3/3, not bad, and when it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. So nice. Lots of ways to ramp in the deck actually, which is pretty good, and it's going to be a lot of stuff that we can spend that mana on too. So we got 2 Augur of Autumns here. This is a 3 mana 2/3, and you may look at the top card of your library at any time. That's cool. You may play lands from the top of your library. That's really cool. And then it has a Coven ability here. As long as you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. And that's actually, like, the Coven's not going to be difficult to achieve in here at all, especially when you can give counters to, like, Gala Greeters and stuff like that. And then overall, like, Briarbridge Tracker is going to be like a 4/3, then this is a 2/3, and then honestly, like a Loamspeaker, and then you're done. You're good. You're good to go. Then you can cast creature spells from the top of your library. This is kind of like our draw power for the deck, which is going to be interesting to see how good it actually is. Maybe we want to go up to like 3 of these potentially. Something to think about, I guess. Got 4 Ulvenwald Oddities. I did say it was mono green aggro, and ramping into Oddity on like a turn 3 is insane. And then if you see a second Oddity, the opponent is very scared at that point, especially, yeah, if you go turn 3 Oddity and then turn 4 second Oddity, that is very, very scary, especially if you go first. So naturally, we got 4 of these. All that extra ramp too, if we're not doing things like casting extra creatures off the top, maybe we're doing a thing like activating that transform on the Oddity for only 7 mana. I say only because it's just like, it just happens. Like, it's not unheard of by any means. 7 mana, transform it into a 8/8 trample with haste, and other creatures you control get +1/+1 and have trample and haste, which is very good. Holy cow. On the very top end, we got a couple Silverback Elders, which is a little bit on the slower side, I guess, kind of, sorta. We are going to be able to ramp into this pretty easily too. And if the opponent doesn't deal with it, then they're probably going to be in trouble. If we're up against other aggro decks especially too, like, this is going to like help us gain a ton of life and make a comeback very fast. So for 5 mana, it is a 5/7. Pretty decent stats, I guess. It's too bad it doesn't have trample or something, but it doesn't really matter because overall, this text box is pretty powerful. So whenever you cast a creature spell, choose one. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Already went over why that's important right now. Or you can gain 4 life. That's pretty cool. Or look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So what that's actually doing for us is, I guess, kind of sort of thinning the deck. Really, you're going to choose the other 2 abilities more often than not. But that extra mana could go a long way when you're looking to transform Oddity, for example, or looking for more mana to be able to cast more creature spells off the top of your library, for example. That could be cool too. So yeah, that's that, guys. 24 land. One of them is a Who Endures. I think 24 is going to be fine. We might talk about going down to 23 if we actually see all of our ramp every single game. But I think 24 is going to be pretty safe too. Couple honorable mentions over here. The Green Defiler and Huntmaster here. These would be terrific on the top end, especially the Defiler, but I kind of like... I think Elder is going to put in more work, although the Defiler is pretty darn aggressive and can can buff our creatures pretty well. And it's not going to be too difficult to get to 6 mana for that Huntmaster, and then getting a 2/2 green wolves can go a real long way. Just something to think about. I didn't really want this particular top end for this mono green build though, so maybe another time, I guess. Yeah, I think that's everything. Hopefully I went over the deck well enough. Let's go ahead, take it into some ranked, and see how we do. We'll see if we can get right into the first match. There we go. Easy peasy. Lots of people playing Magic right now. Alright, opponent, what are you bringing to the table, buddy? This is a good example as to why we still have 24 mana in here and not just the 23, because this is a hand where we still kind of want to see the 3rd mana so we can actually go turn 3 Oddity here. And there it is, beautiful. So we'll go right into Loamspeaker over the Gala Greeters, so that way we can get Oddity down if they don't remove the Loamspeaker. Looks like some removal here, unfortunately. Oh, Dennick is going to drop, actually. Dennick's pretty powerful. We're going to stick to the plan here, even though dropping a couple creatures could be cool. The lifelink on Dennick is pretty scary, but yeah, turn 3 Oddity is terrific. Like, we could have gone 2 Gala Greeters and maybe buffed the one and then buffed them next turn too. Those extra counters could do a thing. Okay, we're up against some Bant, which is pretty scary. We know how powerful, especially just like Dennick. Dennick is always surprising with just how powerful this card can be. This is a good example. Like, we need a tail swipe off the top. That would be terrific. So Adeline is a pain, to say the least. Let's start with a swing here. Even though keeping a blocker might be better, huh? Probably not. Well, maybe. The Liberator's good. I think it's the second Gala Greeters. And I think we start buffing them. Maybe, like, having this many creatures in hand. We'll buff them both next turn and maybe get some treasures down. Start thinking about transforming the Oddity. See, we could have gone treasure this turn. Same concept. Gotta look out for removal, though. This could be like a Wandering Emperor. They could just do it. They could just do it now if they expect that we're going to keep Oddity as a blocker. Okay, this is terrifying. Oh, no. That is a lot of life gain, and they might as well draw here, too. Oh, they're giving us a double block into Dennick. I think we take that, right? Do we? Take 6. I think we take this. Double block into Dennick. This could be a combat trick. Let's see it. If the opponent has a combat trick here, I mean, it is what it is. Nope, okay. Taking good damage, and they might as well draw with the Shauna's ability. Opponent, your deck looks freaking insane, dude. Holy cow. That looks terrifying. I don't even know where to begin to play around this board state right now, unless we see our removal, of course. And then we could start, but as of right now, yeah. Right, so I'm gonna go, I guess we're gonna run everything down. Let's go Packleader. It's gonna be a 3-2. It's a good blocker. I guess we'll go buff, because we're at least gonna play one more. I guess Liberator. We could actually run everything down, but having something else to put a counter on Gala Greeters next turn is pretty good. Or get a treasure token too. Could gain some life here as well. I think we hold everything back as blockers. Don't really want to run into the Adeline right now. Saving the Loamspeaker might be just a mistake. It might be. Just for the sake of Gala Greeters, you know, like. But also, a deck like this might be running a board wipe too, so they could like full swing, wipe the board, and then we have nothing. That would be really bad. Because look at how many cards are in their hand. In comparison. Shauna's got to go, we know that much. This can draw them so many cards every turn, which would just completely run away with the game. Right now we have 5 mana. See, if we would have gone Loamspeaker and top decked a forest, that's asking for a lot though. Oh no, we wouldn't need to top deck a forest. Well, yeah, they could have removal though too. That's something. So I would hit Oddity, so it can't block. Even though, like, if we find removal for the Cathar and it gets haste back, like, they have enough life gain on board with the Shauna alone. It's a rough board to swing into though. Like, we can guarantee some kills here. Gonna be Adeline, huh? So if we go, unfortunately, if we go Loamspeaker Packleader, it does take care of it. But they're about to get another 1/1, so it's gonna be able to. Well, it doesn't have to. This, for some reason, I was thinking this is a 3/3. So either way, it was gonna take care of it. Okay. So I think hitting Adeline, making sure it's dead, is good. I think that's fine. Outland Liberator might be... It might be Loamspeaker instead, since we have the second Loamspeaker, though. It hits both of them, though. Ah, that's the trouble. This looks like a deck that would be running Wedding Announcement, too, so losing the Liberator... It's not looking terrific, but at least they're not getting any draws off the Shauna here. And yeah, like, double blocking isn't the greatest, especially when we're behind on cards already. Oh, second Dennick comes down. Alright, let's see what we draw. Forest? Oh no. Alright, let's get that +1 counter on the Gala Greeters. Make sure that we can trade into Shauna if they end up swinging here. And at this point, we are really hoping for our tail swipe, which I wasn't expecting. I knew it was going to come in handy. But with the meta that I've been seeing, I wasn't expecting it to, that we would just need it so desperately in the first match here. But yeah, we definitely do. Very scary Bant build from the opponent, actually, man. This looks like something that might be popping up more and more. Like, this looks like some serious meta. Oh, Sanctuary Warden. Oh, that's gotta be the nail in the coffin, right? Oh, why don't we see more Bant builds like this? This is terrifying. It's just got terrific cards packed into it. A top end of Sanctuary Warden. They don't swing this time round. Hey, a Silverback Elder off the top. That's pretty sick. The Warden's going to be tough to get around, but we now have some terrific blockers on the ground. So we could still find our tail swipe. The problem is this has a shield counter, but they might gobble it up for a draw, so it's a terrific top deck for us. Wow, Silverback. Let's see here. I wonder what we would actually hit. Yeah, if we get tail swipe and if their shield counter's gone, because maybe they use it for a draw, then we would tail swipe the Warden. As fun as it would be to get rid of that Brutal Cathar, that's what I would end up doing. Gonna swing the Shauna here. A little bit sketchy. Feels like a combat trick, but at this point, we're gonna have to block it. Yeah, we're gonna have to block that. I don't think... We're gonna block that too. They could bring back the Pious Apparition though, and that's just more damage in the air. So it's gonna come down to our draw. Let's see what they do here. If they get rid of this, then we have a chance, because if we draw the tail swipe, if they don't get rid of it, okay, yep, they're gonna play this out safe. We might have an extra turn here. Let's see what ends up happening, because if both of these die, they could drop a second Shauna, right? X can't be greater than the amount of life. Oh, Plaza of Heroes. That's pretty sick, actually. Nice, yeah. Plaza of Heroes protects the Shauna. It was still worth the block for sure. But now they get to draw 3. Oh, buddy. And the Sanctuary Warden's not dying next turn, so... I guess creatures off the top to gain 4 can keep us in this. It's gonna be nighttime, though. That's not great. Safekeeping isn't terrific. Okay. I wonder if we try, like, if we power up a land and swing, do they block with Brute? I doubt it, right? I doubt they'd risk that. I'm gonna try it, though. We're kind of, like, super dead, aren't we? Safekeeping does gain us a little bit. Let's swing with that forest and see what they do. They might take 3. And if they block with, like, all 3... Yeah, they're gonna take the 3. Don't want any amount of tricks, right? It does get rid of a blocker. Like, Loamspeaker's tapped out now, but we do gain 2 from the Safekeeping. Oh yeah, no, we probably needed that blocker because 5 in the air is going through. We gain 2 off of Safekeeping, so we're back up to 8. Then we take the 5, so we're down to 3. Destroy evil, get out of here. Not my Silverback Elder. Not my Silverback. You stop it right this instant. Nice, okay. They didn't have a second Destroy Evil, which could have happened. And then we have 3 blockers on the ground. So we're in this. It depends, though. They could play like an Adeline. Gala Greeters, okay. Scary business, guys. I really like the opponent's deck, though. We're kind of dragging this out in hopes of... Because, like, the life gain on Elder could technically keep us alive, because we could drop a creature, gain 4 on Elder, gain 2 on Greeters, and then we could just kind of keep that going. And what we're really looking for, the best creature to see here, is actually the Augur of Autumn, because then we can cast more creatures off the top. So as much as this looks like a, oh, maybe we should have conceded moment, because, you know, the game's going on longer or whatever, it's still one of those things where we could technically see a lot here. And now a tail swipe off the top could take care of that Sanctuary Warden. Even though we technically want to see creatures too, it's kind of tough. I don't really know what we want to see. I do know that the Tamiyo Safekeeping was one of the worst things we could have saw last turn, so they draw 2 here. Sean is insane, dude. Oh my goodness. If you build a deck around this, like, look at how insane that is. The card advantage that they can achieve every turn. Oh, they get to gobble up our Elder. Oh no, they did. They played 2 cards, didn't they? Oh no, guys. Well, now if we see... Okay, it's gonna be a forest. Ah, let's let him swing in. Well, I'll swing in just to let them know that this is, like, over. Drop the good game. That was pretty sick, though. I'm not mad with how our deck performed overall. We just got completely obliterated by the opponent's build, is the thing. Pretty cool. I think that's going to be something to talk about. If we see a lot more creature decks... Wow, that was a very long game for what it was, wasn't it, guys? I apologize for that. 13 minutes is a longer one. But yeah, if we end up seeing a lot of creature decks, we might want to talk about 4 tail swipes. Right now we're at 3. And even if we saw a couple of them that game, well, yeah, now actually it might have been a completely different game if we saw a couple of them, huh? Because we would have been able to attempt to get rid of the Shauna early there, which would have stopped that card advantage early on. Pretty cool, though. I did like what our deck did overall, so. And the Silverback was a terrific draw. Commune, uh-oh. Got some Selesnya, probably. Yeah, they grab a plains. Nice, great draw. Packleader. It's beautiful. Excuse me. Jukai Naturalist. Okay, second Elder. Man, these tail swipes, huh? Maybe I should have had 4 of them. Uh-oh. Alright, let's see if they trade here. That would be a terrific trade for us. They take the 2. And we are going to... I'm gonna get Gala Greeters down. The block with the Loamspeaker into Naturalist isn't... It just prevents a little bit of damage. That's fine and dandy, but getting Gala Greeters down now... Well, there is something to say for the Loamspeaker, too, since we could have gone Jewel Thief, got the treasure, and played a little bit more, too. I don't know. Oh, wow, guys, they are popping off like Selesnya Enchantments does. We just saw Selesnya Enchantments in my last video, too. And it really popped off as well. We'll see, guys. I don't know if there's going to be an easy way around this one. I do know one thing. Getting the Elder onto the board is going to be crucial here. Probably going to have to chump with Gala next turn. So we're just going to grab... Well, the life could be good, too. Now, I'm going to go treasure because we could find... Like, we're going to have the 4th on the forest here. Then we have 6 total. We might find, like, a Packleader off the top. Got to be careful with the Reign of Truth, as a chump is probably going to happen here. Having 3 creatures on the board is pretty important when they could drop a 4th mana, drop some removal, and then copy. Okay, they're going to go for the copy on that. That's good. That probably means it's not like Circle of Confinement or something would be brutal. We might as well chump with the Packleader then, because Gala Greeters could get us enough life to where we can sustain ourselves. Either way, it's a chump block for sure. Commune, okay. This could help them find some removal. Yeah, borrowed time. That is not terrific. Tamiyo Safekeeping. See, we get to keep that open now for when they try to grab the Silverback, which is why we grabbed the extra treasure there, because we might have found a 1-drop. That's perfect. Or a 1-mana card, I should say. That is perfect. Get that Silverback down, and we're going to go... The treasure's still an okay option here, because we have the second Silverback in hand, and dropping more creatures is pretty good. I guess we should have attacked first, since Jewel Thief has Vigilance. I didn't really think about that. Keep the Tamiyo Safekeeping open, because Hexproof is gonna be valuable here, and doubling down on the Weaver ability is gonna depend if they actually have the 4th mana. Oh no, they don't need it. Jukai Naturalist makes this cost 2. They found the 4th anyways though, so that's good for them. No second white source though, so that's good. I can only imagine it's gonna be Weaver. Okay, they go counter onto Naturalist, and we are slowly getting out of the range of what we can deal with here with a tail swipe. Copy the borrowed time and take the Jewel Thief away from us too. So I think we let this target happen first, and then we'll drop the Safekeeping on the Silverback. And they want to hit the Gala Greeters here instead of the Jewel Thief. Huh. Now we can double block Naturalist quite well. Another Commune with Spirits. Wow. 3 of them in their build. Another borrowed time? Bro, no. We did stop a swing though. Oh. They want to take care of our Jewel Thief, I guess. I'm okay with this. Taking out their Naturalist is huge for us, because now we do end up seeing removal. Like, they have borrowed time for this Elder. We could just go second Elder, honestly. But no, they get to gobble up both because of the Weaver of Harmony. And they have the mana for it, too. Aw, that kind of sucks. Well, get Gala Greeters back here. Actually, drawing a creature's huge, huh? Yeah, Elder's just going to pick this apart now because we get to take care of borrowed time as well. That is huge for us, guys. Wow. Okay, let's go treasure token. I wasn't even thinking about how much we were actually going to be able to gobble up here. So the second Elder is actually terrific. I can't actually think of a better thing to hit there. Outland Liberator's big against this deck too. I guess we can swing now that they can't successfully block this. Down to 35, and let's see. This is actually funny because, yeah, Outland Liberator is going to be able to do a lot against that deck too. Borrow time, hit that Elder, get it out of here, right? We have the second one in hand. And because we have the Liberator, so I guess we use the Liberator's ability before it passes back to us. Yeah, hey, GG opponent. For some reason, I was like, oh yeah, this is anyone's, but I wasn't really considering the fact that the Elder was going to be able to completely just gobble up everything that they were able to dish out. That's funny. I did not build this deck specifically for Selesnya enchantments, but yeah, I guess I had to see it to know, you know what I mean? Jeez. That was a good one, guys. Alright, opponent, what you bringing to the table? Nice. These have been good hands, guys. These have just been terrific hands. Good lineups. Like, we don't even need the 3rd mana necessarily to get Tracker down. So let's see. If we draw the mana, we might go Gala Greeters next turn. If we... yeah, we could still go Loamspeaker, but either one could get gobbled up by a cut down. No, it's not sticking, is it? Alright, let's go Gala Greeters then. Because next turn we could get 2 things from the Greeters. Counter and a treasure's no joke. Rakdos. Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay. It's a good blocker for them. Another forest. isn't the greatest thing. Since they can sack it, I think we go for a swing here anyways. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about this? A trade? Because, yeah, they can sacrifice Harvester either way. At least this way we get some damage through. So if we're doing that, then we better get the second ability off of Gala Greeters before it happens. Because this is a Gala Greeters trade. Or they could potentially take 4 here. Oh, we get to keep the Gala Greeters. Anticipating buffs next turn, potentially, since we have enough mana for a 4-drop. Able, nice. We're gonna go counter on... Alright. So let's do this. Let's go probably Tracker to get the counter. Right? We don't have to worry about a meat hook, we know that much. And a full swing, because a trade into Packleader is 100% okay. We end up going down to 8 here. Looks like they're hoping for the ramp on their Shaman. So, a board wipe would be bad. Hallandal, okay. Man, I can't believe the value of seeing a tail swipe. How about it, guys? We might be able to find one on the clue. We have the token here from the tracker, and we can always get another one too. Oddity is huge. Wow. Wow, okay. Oddity's huge, guys. Let's do it. We're forcing blocks here. We go counter on the Greeters. Oh, we're actually not forcing blocks because Tracker... Actually, yeah, we still full swing. Tracker lost the 4 because I used the treasure. So if we would have gone treasure on Greeters, and then the first strike, and then we're hitting for 6 here, it's actually pretty scary because we might not be able to get that damage through if they end up wiping the board. But another Oddity off the top could be really good. Hallandal could easily generate another chunky blocker. So yeah, losing the counter here, losing the counter, or yeah, I shouldn't call it the counter. Losing the +2/+0 on the tracker actually ended up, keep it as a blocker. Yeah, they're up to 3. Oh no, guys, how are we gonna do this? Almost have enough mana. Getting the second tracker down is the best bet because it buffs the first one. Do we attempt the swing still? Grab the 3/3, swing for 3. The Trespasser's brutal, but we're still forcing... I think we still have to swing, as like janky as some of these are. How do you guys feel about that? As janky as some of the swings are, I think we have to just keep swinging because at any moment this Jund build could run away with this. Look, they get to copy Trespasser next turn. Like, we're forcing blocks here, which is huge for us. Forcing the blocks is huge because we get to keep a pretty good board overall. They use the blood token in desperation as they definitely need to get more blockers down or life gain of some form here. A swing with Trespasser does gain them a little bit of life, but then they need some serious blockers. Okay. Well, here goes nothing. Here goes nothing, guys. Full swing. It's gotta be removal. It's gotta be, but there's no way we don't swing here, right? Like, we just gotta keep going. Is it the Loamspeaker land for the victory? It is not. Infernal Grasp. Oh no. Oh no, guys. How are we gonna get that last one through? At this point, we probably should have activated this first because we could have found a Tamiyo Safekeeping. It's not a safekeeping, but it is a land, so we do get to get the other Loamspeaker and the pack leader down, which once again threatens a board state where they need a blocker or more removal. Oh, buddy, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Maybe there was better ways to successfully swing in? Maybe, but I don't know. I do know one thing, an oddity off the top would probably be a nail in the coffin. The swing tells me that it's either they've accepted the loss or they definitely have more to play here. Oh, they get to search. Oh, this could be huge for them. They could easily find removal here. Easily find removal. Dude, this deck looks insane. This deck looks really cool, opponent. Looks really powerful. I love that the Florian is here. That's really cool. We don't get to see this card often. The first strike is actually really good on it right now, guys, because of all the death touch running about. I mean, you guys saw how the tracker didn't trade with it because of the first strike. So like, if it was a trade, we'd be in a much better position here. Oh no, it was a land. Oh, maybe they wanted 6 mana. Maybe that's what they needed. 6 mana. Trespasser holding them on for dear life here. Workshop War Chief gains them life and is a blocker, which means they're still in this, guys. They are in this, and it is terrifying. Trade. They get a 4/4 back. We lose. We lose 1 land. 2 land. We lose 2 land. Let's start with Augur of Autumn then. See what's on top of our deck. Who endures? Oh, wow. Do we want to draw that in case they have something to remove, or do we want to play the land? Let's play it as a land. Gala Greeters for next turn, huh? Oh, buddy, I think we keep swinging. We're going to lose 2 land here, and that's fine. Got to get that damage through every single turn. They get a 4/4 back. How are we going to do this, guys? How are we going to get that last little bit through? If we're not seeing our removal, like, how are we going to do this? Augur of Autumn was a terrific draw because now, like, we could play the Gala Greeters and we might find something else on top that we can play with Augur of Autumn. And then going wide might be enough. It might be. Back up to 3 here. It's crazy to me how much their life gain is just keeping them in this right now. So much so, like, we're getting... No! Another War Chief! No! Oh, brutal. Back up to 5. I see a land off the top with Augur here and a Tamiyo Safekeeping. Guys, I think we lost. I think that's it. We can't play Safekeeping with Augur. We really needed to draw some of our tail swipes throughout these matches, huh? Pretty brutal stuff, guys. See, if we would have been able to go Gala Greeters and play another creature off the top, then that could have really helped us. At this point, being at 7, we actually have to save blockers back, and we're losing too much to the Florian. It's going to come down to what's underneath this Safekeeping. I think this is the first turn, unfortunately. The opponent's been able to bring it back enough to where we can't get that last bit of damage through. Oh man, that's tough, guys. I love the Florian addition to the opponent's build. Jund looks really good right now. Okay, let's block. You know what? If we die here, we die here. If we don't block War Chief, I'm okay with that. Let's just chump the Trespasser and see if they finish us off. And I'm gonna chump with the Pack Leader. Let's see if we die here. Like, I'm okay if they got that last bit of damage, but like, we are a little bit wide here to the point where we might see something. And maybe they won't see something, you know? That's 7 mana. That's a Sheoldred. GG opponent. The Sheoldred. Oh, hey, actually, we're alive. Nice. That's right. What do we want to give this to? Augur? Yeah, we'll give it to Augur. It's probably like the best bet. That's really funny. I thought we were just, oh, it's a second land though. Well, Sheoldred's a blocker, unfortunately. That sucks, guys. I thought it was looking pretty good for us there for a second. But they have the 3 blockers. That's funny. Oh man, what a game, guys. We really got to talk about 4 tail swipes here. We really got to talk about 4 tail swipes. I think every single game, a tail swipe would have been good, right? I think so. Yeah, GG opponent, man. Woo! Woo, buddy. Some of just the best cards packed into the opponent's deck over there. And I still can't get over the Florian edition. That's such a cool one. I wonder if it's a one-of, or if it's like a main part of that build over there. Guys, let's go one more match. If it ends up being too long, we'll go ahead and give it to the opponent, because why not? You know what I mean? I think overall, right now, the only thing I can think of is that 4th tail swipe. Like, I can't believe how important that tail swipe would have been in some of those games. Wow. Hey, tail swipe. Nice. I'll take it. It's not the greatest hand. It's not the worst hand. Like, we have a turn 2. We have some protection and a lot of cards to draw into here, so. Drops an island. Passes turn. Okay, we've seen this before. Let's see if it is going to be one of those builds, huh? Drops second island. Passes turn. Hopefully not, but honestly, oh no, okay. Well, Liberator's probably not going to hit. We might end up just passing. Oh, we got a second Liberator, though. A Liberator getting countered is much better than like an Oddity getting countered, or a Tracker for that matter. I'm gonna hold this turn. As much as it sucks to not play anything, like we know what this is. Get the Impulse going since you didn't counter anything. Yep, makes sense to me. Impulse is pretty solid magic card. Third island pass, or are they gonna play the Delver this turn? Oh, the Haughty Djinn, huh? Okay. So we gotta be able to tail swipe that as soon as possible. Unfortunately, the Liberator doesn't get us there. Yeah, Liberator doesn't take care of Djinn. So I think we're just gonna play the Tracker while we can. And at this point, the opponent can play tempo pretty well, where they can just continuously bounce our creatures now if they wanted to. Now, we know that this deck probably is running 4 Fading Hopes. I've seen some of them rock the Rona's Vortex too, which is pretty cool. There's the first Fading Hope. It's not over yet, guys. It's not over. We do just have to figure out how to have a creature land and then have the tail swipe land too, which is going to be pretty rough, unfortunately. On this turn, we might want to just attempt the double Liberator over the Tracker and the tail swipe, because the first Liberator can get around a Make Disappear. We also have to be cautious. The Urtai's score, and yeah, instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, so that does that. So now we can safely get down the second Liberator here, which is good news. The same problem arises, though. The tail swipe with our Liberator just isn't enough to hit the Djinn. It's not over yet. It's not looking terrific, but we've seen mono blue decks just not get there. Like, sometimes they just don't draw what they need to draw, so. Oh, second Djinn's really bad, though. Yeah, that's gonna be. I can only imagine this is a Spell Pierce kept open, or some form of protection for one of the Djinns, because not having a counter spell here. So it's probably Tracker. Well, no, never mind. We gotta be careful. I just got done saying it. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, so they could still have a counter spell open. We're gonna attempt the Tracker. Very scary stuff, guys. These mono blue builds are very scary. So this is funny. Today, what I've seen while recording was a lot of Selesnya and a lot of mono blue, which is interesting. Could keep this open for their turn, but I don't see a reason not to try it. I don't see a reason not to try it, because if it's another Urtai's Scorn, we don't want them to have that open next turn. We don't want them to draw into one. If it's a make disappear, it is what it is. Like, sometimes the opponents just have it, unfortunately, and so maybe we can outpace the Djinns, but I don't think so, guys. We do have a lot of power here on the board. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what we could have done? We could have swung with Liberator. They would have just taken the damage. They would have expected green to have some kind of trick up their sleeve, right? I can only imagine. Because, yeah, the swing on Liberator... No, that wouldn't have worked, right? Well, yeah, I guess we had the Tamiyo Safekeeping. So this is 8 damage going through, which means we have 1 turn to find an answer for at least one of these Djinns. And all they got to do is keep it all open and pass. Like, they don't have to get fancy here. All right, let's see. It gets to nighttime, and we see a forest on the top, which tells me that this is game over, huh? Well, clues, huh? Got 11 damage on the board with an Oddity. That's pretty insane, guys. That's a ton of damage, man. All right, let's go clue. Might not want to accept defeat just yet, because we could top deck another tail swipe. Tamiyo Safekeeping, huh? Yeah. Still have enough mana for the Oddity if we just want to get a fun big swing, but we might as well. Well, let's start by swinging so we get that extra damage through, because we could still see the tail swipe, so getting a swing might come in handy. Let's see that tail swipe off the top. Second tail swipe, come on now. Oh, Briarbridge Tracker. All right, well, that's that. Already played our land for the turn. So we got the Tamiyo Safekeeping open for some life, but all they got to do is play. Yeah. Oh, they didn't play an instant or sorcery. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. If we double down, okay, there's one of the instants. So we got to play both Safekeepings here. Maybe we should have done it before they drew, so that way they didn't have a counter spell, but either way, they're probably going to have like a Fading Hope or something in hand too, right? Oh, that's 12 damage. What am I saying? Oh yeah, we're super dead because they discarded a Syncopate there too. Let's attempt the Tamiyo Safekeeping just for funsies. GG, Mono Blue. Wow. These games were pretty rough, but overall, I'm pretty satisfied with how the deck actually performed. I think more testing's required. I think there might be some fine-tuning to talk about if we end up seeing like a lot of... We might as well just do this, guys. Might as well just play everything out. Like, we are super dead here. Sometimes Mono Blue doesn't get there, though. So, like, when you're up against Mono Blue, like, sometimes they actually just don't see the counter spells. Like, it just doesn't line up properly. I think the double Djinn was pretty lucky, even though they're probably running 5 of them in here. And we really... Oh, wow, they had a Scorn there, too. GG opponent. Did I drop the good game? We really got to talk about adding the 4th tail swipe. In these 4 games, guys, in these 4 games, I don't think there was a moment where we didn't want to see tail swipe, right? So let's talk about that real quick here. Here's the deck list again, a 25% win rate, not terrific, but 4 games is a very small sample size, so more testing's required for sure. What did we notice here? Okay. Let's talk about this, because dropping a Safekeeping and going up a tail swipe seems way too important. I thought the 3 Safekeepings were going to be very valuable. As it turns out, Not in those matches. I think 2 Safekeepings will still be pretty solid, but the number, yeah, we just really needed Tail Swipe. Like every single game we were like, oh yeah, Tail Swipe, that would be really good, huh? So 4 of them, yeah. I would probably drop the Safekeeping and go up the 4th Tail Swipe. There were some moments where we could have drawn better, but overall, our draws were really good, weren't they? I think going up the 3rd Augur of Autumn could be huge for this deck. So what would I do instead? I think the Liberator and the Silverback Elder are going to be too good to take out. I wouldn't drop those, especially since I have been seeing a lot more Selesnya enchantments over the last couple days. So just something to think about. If there's a lot of Selesnya enchantments, we saw how the Elder can pick that apart. We also saw how Safekeeping came in handy that game too. So, ooh, dropping the Safekeeping might be bad. Maybe we just need to get luckier with draws, but like I said, overall, the draws were pretty good, weren't they? So, you know what else? Maybe drop a Jewel Thief and go up an Augur of Autumn. I could see that, but the problem with getting rid of a Jewel Thief, the treasure ramp is terrific, but then also having that extra token for the Briarbridge Tracker is pretty good too. So, like, we actually used our clues a lot today, and the only other way to get tokens in this build is from Gala Greeter treasures and Jewel Thief treasures, so something to think about. Against that Jund deck, I don't think there was a way to get that extra damage through, but if you guys saw a way to get that extra damage through against that Jund build, let me know in the comments, because sometimes I miss it, and, you know, sometimes it's easy to miss, unfortunately. We never got to the point where we had the 7 mana available to transform the Oddity, but I still think it's going to be relatively easy to do so. So something to think about. Packleader was great. Everything was good, guys. I actually really liked it. We just didn't like have the greatest win rate this time round, but I think the more you play with the deck, I think it's going to go up around, I would guess around a 55% win rate, but you never know, and we still don't entirely know where the meta's settling after the meat hook ban. Right now, what does it look like right now? I don't know. I guess, yeah, mostly we've been seeing mono blue. The Selesnya enchantments has been more popular, but I've been seeing like a lot of decks where it's running Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. It's got like Boros colors smashed in there, and it's like a mid-range style build. So we're seeing like Mardu. I saw some Naya mid-range too. So I have no clue where this is going to settle. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the deck down in the comments. And this one's a pretty simple one, isn't it? And if you guys try out the deck too, let me know how it does and what you added or took out of the build too. I think the big thing is the 4th tail swipe. Maybe you could drop a land for the 4th tail swipe. 23 land could work when we got the Loamspeaker, Gala Greeters, Jewel Thief ramp. But honestly, all that extra mana really came in handy, and there's going to be some games where you're smacking the opponent's face with the land because of Loamspeaker too, so you're going to lose some land every now and then as well, so it depends. Yeah. If you guys made it this far into the video, then y'all are champions, and I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.